Jesus has a standard. There is godly way of running ministry, and any ministry that is not done Jesus' way is not the ministry that Jesus endorses. So Jesus does not endorse ministry that is not done in his way. If you want to do ministry, you must do it Jesus' way. And Jesus never took advantage of anybody. Jesus never asked anybody to sow into his ministry, sow into his life. People gave to Jesus' ministry out of their own will. Jesus didn't coerce anybody. You know, Jesus had supernatural power to force people to give. He didn't use his power to force people, compel people to give to him. And even when in one of his crusades, Bible says, multitude could not bear what he was teaching, and the crowd left him, remaining only 12 disciples. He did not threaten the crowd that left. And if you study that passage very well, the crowd that left him were the crowds that he fed a day before. The crowd that left were the same crowd that he fed when he multiplied the fish and the bread. So he multiplied the fish and bread for them a day before. So the following day, they came back again to come and eat fish and bread. And it was not where they couldn't find him where he was, where he had the crusade a day before. Bible says they entered boats looking for him until they found him in another place. And now say, Master, we have been looking for you. We don't see you where you had crusade yesterday. He now told them, you are not looking for me because you want to listen to the truth. You are not looking for me because of the word. You are looking for me because yesterday you ate bread and fish and you are satisfied. So he now told them that day, he said, today, I'm not going to give you any bread and fish. Today you will eat the real bread, which is my flesh. And you will drink the real blood, which is my blood. So when he started talking about them receiving him, they went back. They said, no, we want the real bread and fish that we ate yesterday. We don't want your flesh and your blood. They went back, they left him. And what I wanted to point out in that story was that even the people that he performed miracle for, that he satisfied their hunger, fed them to the food supernaturally. When they left him, he did not threaten them. He didn't say, see me, look at these people that yesterday I supernaturally fed. Now they have deserted me. Okay, unless I did not feed you yesterday. He did not blackmail them. Remember I said in one of the sessions that God doesn't use emotional blackmail to get people to do things for him. He doesn't use emotional blackmail to control people. God doesn't use guilt to control people. You know, Jesus never mentioned that miracle when they turned back. He didn't threaten them that, see, yesterday I fed you with bread and fish. Today now you deserted me. Unless I did not feed you. Unless I did not feed you yesterday. That's why things will continue to work for you. But if I fed you yesterday and you turn back at me today, evil things will begin to. Jesus doesn't use emotional blackmail and guilt. And when you see a minister that is using emotional blackmail, I know how I labored over you. I know how I did VG. I know how I do this. That is witchcraft. You see, scam is everywhere. And you must use Jesus to scan everything. If you don't use Jesus to scan, they will scam you. If you fail to scan them, S-C-A-N. If you fail to scan them, they will scam you. If you fail to scan their teachings, they will scam you. There is nothing like the way to enter into realities, the way to enter into manifestation is to sow a seed. When Jesus taught them, when Jesus taught them, was there a single occasion where Jesus now said, you see this teaching that you have been receiving, if you want to enter into the manifestation quickly, sow seed. Now, key into the manifestation, provoke speed the manifestation of, you see all these things are scams. If you have financial challenge, nothing is wrong with you telling the saints, okay, you have financial challenge, and let them respond. As many of them that are willing. But you now saying the way to enter into manifestation of the teaching that you just taught them is to sow into it. That's nonsense. That's another scam. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. You don't enter into manifestation of teaching by scamming. Shatabali bro shalatiza. Let's look at James chapter 1, verse 22 to 25. James chapter 1. Hallelujah. Oh, thank you, sir. If you fail to scan them, they will scam you. That's true. If you don't scan their teachings, they will scam you. James 1:22-25. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any man be a hearer of the word, and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholds himself, and goes his way, and straightway forgets what manner of man he is. But whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty, and continue therein, him being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed. Okay. The James said, sow seed after you have received the word, sow seed to enter into the experience. He said, do the word, practice, engage. That's how you make profit with the word. That's how the word will profit you. The way you enter into the manifestation of the word, of what you have been taught, is when you engage it and you practice it. Matthew chapter 7, verse 24-27. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them, you see it again. Whosoever heareth these teachings of mine, and sow a seed, was that what Jesus said? Whosoever heareth these teachings of mine, and sow a seed, and keen to it, with offering and seed and sacrifice. Whosoever heareth these teachings of mine, and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the wind blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them not, shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand, and the rain descended, and the floods came, and the wind blew, and beat upon the house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. If you like, empty your account, and be deceiving yourself that you are keen into the teaching, and fail to engage. If you fail to engage, and you sow your car as a seed to keen to the teaching, that teaching will not profit you, because you didn't engage it, you didn't practice it. You still suffer. So don't let anybody deceive you. Now, you can decide to be a blessing to a minister who has been a blessing to you. You can decide to bless ministers who labor in word and in teachings. That's what the Bible says. But you don't kill into teaching with your seed. Let us key into this prophecy. You don't key into prophecy with seed. All those things are scam. There is nothing like when you see God moving, that's the best time to sow seed. There is nothing like that. Is it all these false fruits? These false fruits. That's a big scam every January. The GO of a ministry will collect January salary of as many of his members who are ready to give their first fruits, telling them that is his right, and that was what God wants from them. Using God to rob his own children. You are using the name of the Father to rob his children. An apostle said something. He said, don't let anybody deceive you. Don't let anybody deceive you. January salary. That you are to give everything. That's your first fruit. So he now told his members. He said, what? Not telling his member. He said, do you know He was now telling his member. He said, let me tell you what will happen when you refuse to give your first fruits in January. He said, when you refuse to give it, you have by yourself shut heaven. He said it is that January first fruit that you will use to open heaven over yourself for the remaining of the years, the remaining months of the year. He said you have shut the window when you refuse to give your first fruit. Lie from the pit of hell. The implication is that the windows of heaven will be shut against them throughout that year. But is that January we will use to open the window of heaven? Let me ask you a question. Let's assume, oh, hallelujah. Let's assume that it's true. It's not true, but let's even assume that it's true. Okay, I give my January salary. I give my January salary as first fruit. Then I opened the windows of heaven throughout that year. So by December ending, God now closed the window again, waiting for my January salary. Your first fruit has expired now. The first fruit has expired. So I'm shutting the windows. I'm waiting for your January salary again to open the window. You see, a lie will always be a lie. No matter who is saying it. A lie cannot become truth. A lie cannot become truth. Even if an archangel is saying it, if an archbishop is saying it, a lie is a lie, irrespective of who is saying it. So there is nothing like first fruit for the saints. Now they ran back to the Old Testament and picked first fruit and left animal sacrifice. And first fruit, mind you, first fruits are fruits. So if your papa is asking for first fruit in January, go and buy mango or orange or banana and take it to the altar first. January 1st, buy one mango or banana and say, this is the first fruit I bought this year. This is the first fruit I ever bought this new year. So I'm dropping it on the altar as my first fruit. It will kick you out of his church. That's when you will know that it's running business. First fruit is not January salary. If you want to practice first fruit, collect mango, collect pineapple from your members. Ask them January 1st, go and buy pineapple, go and buy mango and bring it as your first fruit. Stop collecting people's January salary. That's a scam. There is nothing like first fruit for the saints. Because in the Old Testament where they give first fruits, they were farmers. And the principle of first fruits, they did not even give everything. The principle of first fruits, because they were farmers. So, the first fruits concept is this. As a farmer, when your farm begins to produce, you carry one basket and you fill that one basket, you fill that one basket with fruit. Not all the fruit. Just one basket out of your farm. And you take it to a priest that is close to you and say, okay, my farm has started producing, and out of the fruit, the first stage of fruit, I brought this one basket. And he said you take it to the priest so that the priest can eat, because they are devoted to the ministry, work of the ministry full time. They are not allowed to farm, they are not allowed to rear cattle. That's the concept of first fruit. First fruit is not money. First fruit is not January salary. Only a scammer we interpret first fruit in the Old Testament as January salary of his members.